श्रीगणेशाय नमः। श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विधूततिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतं स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम् अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन्। पश्यन् विश्वमपीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। We are seeing the text Saddarshanam. Before we begin with today's inquiry, let us chant the Mangalacharana of this text. सत्प्रत्ययाः किन्नु विहाय सन्तं हृद्येष चिन्तारहितो हृदाख्यः कथं स्मरामस्तममेयमेकं तस्य स्मृतिस्तत्र दृढैव निष्ठा। मृत्युञ्जयं मृत्युभयाश्रितानाम् अहं मतिर्मृत्युमुपैति पूर्वम् अथ स्वभावादमृतेषु तेषु कथं पुनर्मृत्युधियोऽवकाशः। Raman Maharshi had started explaining that one should inquire into one's own true nature, ahankara, by which one can attain one's own true nature, swarupa. Let us see the verses from 28. Let us chant the verses. रूपोद्भवो रूपततिप्रतिष्ठो रूपाशनो धूतगृहीतरूपः स्वयं विरूपस्वविचारकाले धावत्यहङ्कारपिशाच एषः। भावोऽहमः सर्वमिदं विभाति लयेऽहमो नैव विभाति किञ्चित् तस्मादहं रूपमिदं समस्तं तन्मार्गणं सर्वजयाय मार्गः। सत्यास्थितिर्नाहमुदेति यत्र तच्चोदयस्थानगवेषणेन विना न नश्येद्यदि तन्न नश्येत् स्वात्मैक्यरूपा कथमस्तु निष्ठा। कूपे यथा गाढजले तथान्तर्निमज्य बुद्ध्या शितया नितान्तं प्राणं च वाचं च नियम्य चिन्वन् विन्देन्निजाहं कृतिमूलरूपम्। मौनेन मज्जन्मनसा स्वमूलचर्चैव सत्यात्मविचारणं स्यात् एषोऽहमेतन्न मम स्वरूपम् इति प्रमासत्यविचारणाङ्गम्। गवेषणात् प्राप्य हृदन्तरं तत् पतेदहन्ता परिभुग्नशीर्षा अथाहमन्यत् स्फुरति प्रकृष्टं नाहं कृतिस्तत् paramev purnam. Ahang. Now let us chant the verse 33 and begin with today's inquiry. Ahang kritim yo lasati grasitva kim tasya karyam parishishtamasti किंचिद् विजानाति सनात्मनोऽन्यत् तस्य स्थितिं भावयितुं क्षमः कः. Raman Maharshi ji is saying, Yaha aham kritim yaha grasitva lasati. Aham kritim ahankara, grasitva having eaten, having removed or destroyed. Lasati shines. The one who shines, having devoured or destroyed ego, tasya of him or to him, kim karyam parishishtamasti. Kim parishishtam karyam asti. Is there any work left to do? Is there anything that is left to be done? Saha, he, atmanaha anyat, other than the self. Atmanaha, other than self. Na kinchit, nothing. Vijanati, knows. Kaha tasya sthiti bhavitum kshamaha, who is able to understand his state. Raman Maharshi is saying, what is there that remains to be done for the person who has devoured his ego, ahankara, the one who has destroyed his ahankara and is shining forth? In other words, the one who has gained, the one who has known directly his own true nature, nothing remains to be done for him. In form of question, it has been stated, is there anything is there anything that is left to be done? No, there is nothing. He knows nothing other than the self. This person, the one who knows Brahman, he knows nothing other than the self. If and that is the case, who is able to know the state of this person? Tasya karyam na vidyate. Even Bhagavad Gita says, for the person who has gained Brahmajnana, Atmajnana, there is nothing left to be done. Why this question and why such answer? Why this statement? The reason being, karya, any activity or duty is done or happens, takes place in the realm of duality on account of ahankara, ego, identity with this gross body or the world. Without that, action, karma, karya cannot be performed. Now, here you have to understand that we have to understand the meaning of these words. Let us see the statement that what is there that remains to be done for him who shines having devoured the ego. This is the literal translation of the first two lines. The statement or the doctrine Siddhanta here is, the person who has gained Brahmajnana has nothing left to be done. Let us add the original Sanskrit words, the one who has gained Brahmajnana there is no karma to be performed for him. And when you use the word karma, in English loosely translated as action, it is not an bodily activity but action done with identification and desire. That's where karma yoga or actions without actions come into picture. In detail, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna has explained for karma to be done, perform what is required. Five things are required. Daivan chaivatra panchamam. You need ahankara, you need indriya, you need vishayas. When all these five things are there, only then karma is performed. Only when those five things are there, karma is performed. But for a Brahmajnani Mahatma, the one who has gained Brahmajnana, the one who has stopped identifying with this creation, this body, etc., if there is no ego which is going to take the ownership of action which is being performed by this body, which is happening by this body, can there really be karma happening? No. Activity is happening, yes. The activity is being performed, but the karma is not being done. Because when we say karma, there is karta, active doer, with identification or as jiva present over there. For a Jnani Mahatma, because he has given up his identification as jiva, identity as jiva, he identifies as Brahman, he knows that he is Brahman. For him, there is nothing left to be done. Now, the other part of this statement is, for him nothing left to be done is because he has gained everything that is to be gained. Any activity is done, performed with desire. Prayojanamanuddishya mandopi na pravartate. Without desire, even a fool will not take up an action. So each and every action is prompted by desire. The desire is prompted by the idea of emptiness, need for the experience of fulfillment. There is something more to be gained, something more needed is to be gained. I need something more. Because of this, action is performed. When Brahman is known, one knows oneself as Brahman, he knows that he is Purna, complete, full, and there is nothing more that can be achieved. And when such state is achieved, known or gained, can this person really take up an action? No, because he has become contented. That's why in Upanishad it is stated that Atmanam ched vijaniyadayamasmiti purushaha kimichan kasya kamaya shariramanu. The one who has known oneself to be Atma, Brahman, for what desire? Kimichan, desiring what? Kasya kamaya. For what reason will he do an action? He won't, because he is full, complete in himself. Therefore, he has no karma to be performed. But at the same time, Bhagavad Gita gives another facet or another face of this whole thing. Yes, the one who is desirous of gaining Jivan Mukti and the one who has gained Brahmajnana and yet is affected by Prarabdha should stay away from all worldly activities. How Vasanakshaya, Manonasha, etc., the facets of Jivan Mukti are there in detail, in great detail. They have been explained by Vidyaranya Muniji in separate text by named Jivan Mukti Viveka. But in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna has also stated that लोकसंग्रहमेवार्थं कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हसि कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः. Many different Brahmajnani, even after gaining Brahmajnana, they did interact with the world for the betterment of the world. Were they affected by the world? No, not at all. So, in other words, are they willingly doing an action for their own selfish desires or gaining something? No. They are acting according to their purva vasana and karma enjoined as per their ashrama. For each ashrama, 4 ashramas are there: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa ashrama. Even after gaining Brahmajnana, in whatever ashrama he is, he will perform duties according to that ashrama, but not because he is bound by them, but because people are looking up to him, and when he performs those actions, people will follow him and people will follow the right path. So, after realization, by definition, in reality, there is nothing left to be done for him. But a Mahatma, some may act in the world, some may not act in the world. But because whether he is acting in the world or not, he is not doing any karma. In Bhagavad Gita itself, Bhagwan has said a very beautiful point. Bhagwan Krishna says about himself that he has no duty towards anyone. Nanavaptamavaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. I have no duty towards this world. I have nothing, no reason to act in the world, yet I do act, I do perform duties, activities in the world. Why? Utside yurime lokaha na kuryat karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyamima prajaha. If I don't act according to Shastra, according to Varnashrama Dharma, I do not perform actions according to that, I will misguide these people who are following me. In that sense, because of Purva Vasana, Purva Karma, not for Bhagwan, but for a Jivan Mukta Mahatma, he may act in the world, but yet, because he is not identified with Ahankara, he has devoured, who has destroyed his Ahankara. In reality, he is not performing an action, but at the same time, some Jivan Mukta Mahatma can be seen, those who are always completely absorbed in their own Swarupa, at which, or at that state, in that state, no activity is done. In conclusion, the person who has gained Brahmajnana does not perform an action because he has given up, destroyed his ego, Ahankara, and only in association with Ahankara, karma takes place. But some Jivan Mukta Mahatma may seem to act in the world because of Prarabdha karma, but because they have destroyed their ahankara, it is not karma that they are performing, but they are undergoing their prarabdha, and activities are being performed based on purva vasana. But some Mahatmas can be seen, those who are not aware of the world around and are absorbed in their own Swarupa state. In that state, they are there at in the state at which no action is performed whatsoever. Such a state is beyond comprehension. They do not know, those who are totally, completely absorbed in their own Swarupa, they do not know anything other than themselves, anything around. And such state is beyond comprehension of ignorant man for us. ज्ञानामृतेन तृप्तस्य कृतकृत्यस्य ज्ञानामृतेन तृप्तस्य कृतकृत्यस्य योगिनः नैवास्ति किंचित कर्तव्यम अस्ति चेन्न स तत्त्ववित्. The one who has got fulfilled by knowledge or amruta, the nectar in form of knowledge, the one who has become kritakritya, whatever that is to be done has been done, and whatever that is to be gained has been gained. Is there anything for him to be performed? No, there is nothing for him to perform. And if there is something that he desires to perform, he is not Jivan Mukta. Having said this, Raman Maharshi ji gives a slap in our face. He says, stop fooling around. Know it. The context is, why does mind not abide in the truth? Even though we have been told so many times. Is it not? We have heard Tattvamasi Mahavakya, or you are Brahman, you are not this body, you are not this subtle body, you are not this causal body, etc. so many number of times. Yet our mind is not able to accept, absorb in our own Swarupa. What is the problem? Raman Maharshi is saying, let us see. आहस्फुटं तत्त्वमसीति वेदः तथा आहस्फुटं तत्त्वमसीति वेदः तथाप्यसम्प्राप्य परात्मनिष्ठां भूयो विचारो मतिदुर्बलत्वं तत्सर्वदा स्वात्मतया हि भाति. वेदः वेद तत्त्वम् असि इति स्फुटम् आह. Thou are that are thou, you are that Brahman. Iti, in this way, sphutam, clearly, profoundly, very clearly, without any hesitation, aha, had said, proclaimed. Vedas have proclaimed that you are that Brahman very clearly. Yet, tathapi, paratmanishtham asamprapya, without having gained a nishtham abidance, without having gained abidance in that Brahman, or having not obtained abidance in that Brahman. Bhuyaha vicharaha, inquiring again. Mati durbalatvam is the durbalatva, disability of mind. weakness of mind. Tat, that reality, sarvada, always, svatmataya bhati, shines as one's own self. Raman Maharshi is saying the Vedas have clearly stated, specifically stated that you are that Brahman, and even then, if you do not gain the abidance in that knowledge in Brahman, and you start inquiring again, it is the weakness, disability of mind, disability, weakness, incapacity of mind, incapability of mind. That reality indeed always shines as one's own true self. Stop doing it, start knowing it. This is the true problem, the true thing that we are always facing. Vedas clearly have stated you are that Brahman. Brahman is, and that Brahman you are. Yet, we are not able to comprehend that truth. Why is it so? Because we are not ready to give up our identity as this ahankara ego. We still have doubts. That is the incapability of mind. The mind should be doubtless. The firm belief in Veda as pramana, in the knowledge that we have gained from Veda is required, is needed. Because we doubt, we do not gain abidance in our own true nature. Understand? We have identified with this gross body, subtle body, causal body, ahankara, etc. for years and lives together. And without loosening that identification, we suddenly have jumped to the final teaching, you are that Brahman. See, the best way of gaining Brahmajnana is, or ideal way of gaining Brahmajnana is, Mahavakya is not told, explained till mind has been made highly pure. That's why there are two sadhakas or two person. One is qualified and one is unqualified. And how are they categorized? This is just for the sake of explanation, okay? They are categorized as krutopasti and akrutopasti. Kruta upasti, the one who has done upasana. Kruta upasti, the one who has done upasana to the sakshatkara, the direct experience of his ishta devata, desired deity, devata. If he is worshipping Shiva, then he has done sadhana up to direct experience of Shiva in that particular form, or Ganesha, or Rama, or Vishnu, so on and so forth, or Devi. The one who has not done such sadhana is called akruta upasti. And kruta upasti's mind, the mind of such a person who has gained that sakshatkara or the darshana, ishta devata darshana, the one who has directly experienced that devata. We had seen this part in earlier statement that it is mental projection. Yes. If we stick to that, that is mental projection. But further, that form which I am seeing outside is my own Swarupa. If that is known, then that is perfectly fine. That is the purpose of it. In such pure mind, when teaching is done, it easily takes root and sprouts. तैलबिन्दुरिवाम्भसि तस्य ज्ञानं प्रसरति तैलबिन्दुरिवाम्भसि. In Yoga Vasishtha, Vasishtha Mahamuni is explaining to Rama, for such a person who has calm, quiet and purified mind, the teaching Tattvamasi, you are that Brahman, will take root, will spread like a drop of oil spreads on water. Because we are not well qualified, because our mind is still hankering for desires, hankering for worldly objects, Brahmajnana does not take place in our mind. Then what is the solution? The only way to make mind fit for inquiry is to keep on doing it. But is it not the weakness? Yes, but you have to overcome it. Keep on doing it. And later, at one point of time, you shall know when you have gained that purity of mind. Till then, keep on inquiring. Let me give you another part in the same context. The thing is, there is a very beautiful explanation about upasanas, etc. For gaining purity of mind, such upasanas should be taken to. Brahmajnana upasana, upasana in relation with Brahmajnana, according to Brahmajnananveshana, inquiry into Brahman, etc. The point there being, let me give you the example and we will go further with the current topic. This explanation comes in Panchadashi. It is called Samvadi Brahma and Visamvadi Brahma. We will not go into the details of the definition and description, but look at it this way. A person sees light or sees light, just light, in far distance. And now this person thinks that, oh, there is some light, something shiny over there. There is something which is shining over there. Let me go and get that shiny thing. It may be a bright jewel. Now this person starts going towards that light, and when he reaches there, now there are two things, two situations. In one situation, he finds out that it is a lamp. He finds out that it is a lamp and not the jewel. In other case, he actually sees the jewel. He actually finds the jewel. Now, let's take one step back. Did this person see lamp or jewel? No. He saw only the source of light. The thing that he saw was light alone. But he superimposed on that light the idea that it is a jewel. And when he acted according to that superimposition, in one case he found lamp, and in other case he found jewel. Now the case in which he actually found jewel, did he find jewel because of right knowledge or superimposition? Let's keep aside where he thought that it is a jewel and he found light. We are not interested in that at all. It is Visamvadi Brahma. It is not according to Adhyaropa, the superimposition that he did. Let us come to this example, this explanation. He saw the source of light. He just saw light, but he superimposed on that light that it is a jewel. Now, when he acted according to that superimposition, he actually found jewel. Did he find jewel because of the knowledge that it is jewel or superimposition that it is jewel? Of course, superimposition that it is a jewel. In the same way in Upasana, the Vyakta form, the Brahman alone is explained but with form. And when Upasana on those forms are done, so it is a deliberate superimposition. And the objects of objects of Upasana are carefully chosen. They are not Vishaya, but they are exalted things. And it is said such and such Ishvara, such and such form is that Brahman. When I further inquire, when I do Upasana, when the Upasana culminates, concludes, that form drops away and I know the true nature of that thing, which is nothing but pure existence, consciousness, happiness, principle, which is me. But did I start with right knowledge? No, it is Upasana. It is in a way Adhyaropa, superimposition, deliberately superimposing one particular form or a thing or formless thing as Brahman. Upasana as Brahman, not as a form, but Upasana as Brahman. And such Upasana leads to Brahman. Go on doing that, such Upasanas purify our mind, and when mind gets purified, automatically in there and then alone, you will know, you will directly experience your own true nature, which is Brahman and nothing else. Now, having said this, Raman Maharshi ji is saying, verse 35, न वेद्म्यहं मामुत वेद्म्यहं मामिति प्रवादो मनुजस्य हास्यः दृग्दृश्यभेदात् किमयं द्विधात्मा स्वात्मैक्यतायां हि धियान्न भेदाः अहं मां न वेद्मि न वेद्म्यहं माम् अहं मां न वेद्मि I do not know myself उत or अहं मां वेद्मि I know myself iti pravadaha, such expressions, manujasya hasyaha, such expressions of man are hasyaha, are laughable. I am Atma, this self. Drugdrushya bhedat, bhedat on account of divisions, differences. Drugdrushya, seer, seen. Dvidha, is it twofold? Swatmaikyatayam, swatma ekatayam, swatmanaha ekatayam, of the oneness of oneself. Tiyam hina bhedaha, in the knowledge there is no bheda, difference at all. I know not myself, I don't know myself. or I know myself, such expressions of man are foolish, laughable. Is this self twofold by division of seen and seer? Is this self also seen and seer? No. In knowledge of oneness, there are no divisions. To say that I know myself, yes, I have gained Brahmajnana, I know who am I know myself. Saying this, or even saying I don't know myself, both things are foolish. It is just being I am. When I say I know, this I, seer, becomes different from what is being known. Yes, it is true that we take this statement, know your own true self, as part of teaching, but that alone is the purpose. That's why the expression after gaining Brahmajnana is Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. It's not I know Brahman. Subtle difference, but very important difference. Raman Maharshi is saying this is what it is. If you say I know Brahman or I do not know Brahman, it is foolish. It is part of ignorance. In knowledge of oneness, when Brahmajnana is gained, when the Brahman is known, there are no differences at all. No differences can be there. In Kenopanishad, in Kenopanishad, there is this uh, statement, mantra, where student says, whatever that you have explained, I have understood very well, I know it. To which the teacher answers, whatever that you have known is wrong, is half, is false. Dabhramevapi nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam athanu mimavasya vedate. यदि मन्यसे सुवेदेति दभ्रमेवापि नूनं त्वं वेत्थ त्वं ब्रह्मणो रूपं यदस्य त्वम् अथ नूमीमांसमेव ते मन्ये विदितं नाहं मन्ये सुवेदेति नो न वेदेति वेद च यो नस्तद्वेद तद्वेद नो न वेदेति वेद च. A very beautiful portion of Upanishad. So, after the whole teaching has been given, the student says, I know Brahman very well. The teacher says, really? Do you know Brahman? Then whatever that you know needs to be inquired into. Think about it. The Brahm is nothing. It's foolish. Inquire. Think. Go. Do the inquiry again. So the student says, okay. He again goes and starts inquiring. He contemplates. I know Brahman. Yes, I know Brahman. Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That is Brahman, that I am. So I know Brahman. What is the problem? What is wrong in this? But then I know Brahman. If I know Brahman, then who am I? Am I not Brahman? And if I am Brahman, then how can I know Brahman? But I don't know the world as it is now. And I know that I am Brahman, so I cannot say that I don't know Brahman. Now he knows what the teaching is all about. So he comes back to Guru and says, Guruji, now I have got it. So Guruji asks, do you know Brahman now? The student says, I cannot say that I know Brahman very well. Neither can I say I know Brahman very well, nor can I say I don't know Brahman at all. Teacher says, what are you talking about? My whole teaching has gone waste. The student says, no, I know what I am saying. I don't know Brahman very well, and I not I know Brahman very well. In other words, what student says is, I cannot say that I know Brahman, nor can I say I do not know Brahman. And those who understand the meaning behind this statement, they know Brahman, and who do not understand, they do not know Brahman. Whenever the statements I know and I do not know come, there is always distinction. Only in case of Brahmajnana, no Brahman as your own true Swarupa, there this distinction, this triputi, this duality is ended. But if the statement is done, like Raman Maharshi explained in this verse, uh, I know Brahman, or I don't know myself, or I know myself. Brahman here Atma. I know myself or I do not know myself. We are separating our own true self from I, Ahankara, and we have become observer and other thing has become object. And if I have become drashta and that thing has become drushya, like experiencing an external object, how can there be oneness? That Brahman, my own true nature, is still paroksha, distant for me. Or in this case, you can say pratyaksha, but that is fallacious. It is laughable. It is not wrong. It is not right. So, the knowledge with duality is no knowledge at all. In any knowledge where there is independent seer and seen, where seer and seen are different, that is the state of duality and the state of bondage. द्रष्टुर्दृश्यस्य सत्ता हि बंधरित्यभिधीयते द्रष्टा दृश्यवशात् बद्धः दृश्याभावे विमुच्यते. In Yoga Vasishtha, it is explained that drashtur-drishyasya sattahi, when there is seer and seen, when seer and seen are independently experienced, are known separately, that alone is the state of bondage. On account of seen, the seer is bound, and in absence of seen, the seer is liberated. Seer is mukta. When I say I know myself, myself I have separated out from my own self. That means Atma, which is Satya Jnana Ananta, is different somewhere there, and I am here, which is foolish. And I know or I don't know. In these both statements, the duality has been created. I have become drashta, other has become drushya. In reality, that I am. The knowledge should be I am Satyam Jnanavanantam. It's not I know. It should be I am. Thus, Raman Maharshi is saying I know myself or I do not know myself are laughable matter. And in Brahma Jnana, no duality is there, no divisions are there. Then why do all texts talk about self-knowledge, no Brahman, etc.? From the standpoint of ignorance, they say, know your own true nature, Swarupa, because the Upadesha, the teaching, is done from the standpoint of the ignorance of listener. Taking into account the student's ignorance, the teaching is given. But that teaching takes you beyond duality Dvaita. If even after that teaching one sticks to that Dvaita, he has not really absorbed the teaching of Vedas, etc. Having said this, now Raman Maharshi is going to explain, having intellectually understood the nature of one's own true self, the nature of self, what one should do. But that we will see next time. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om